So we're outside in Vermont. We're at the farm, helping family out. And I haven't had as much opportunity to record as I'd like, but here we are getting in some talking before we head out and hit the road again. This coming week, Meg and I actually are gonna take our honeymoon in Maine, and I'm super excited for that. We get to go to the beach and spend a whole week on the beach. We're gonna take the dog with us, but enough about me. I want to hear about you. So in this video, I'd like to talk about a means to an end, or what this means to me. Specifically, how I make decisions, strive to make decisions now, and why I believe it's so important to forget the means portion of the statement and just focus on the end. When you use something as a means to an end, you take advantage of a situation. That's the nature of the statement. You ask for help and you never give help. It's all for self-benefit. So when you focus on the end, you get to design something that is organic and built specifically for you, by you, and most specifically it's put together by you in a way that makes you fully invested in your choice, your decision. Now, making decisions is a common thing, obviously. We have to make choices all the time. We have to decide how we want to use our time, who we want to spend that time with. And some of those decisions we have to live with for the rest of our lives. Let's take an example. Let's use a marriage. Lots of us, if you're my age, and you're observing your parents and your grandparents, aunts and uncles, older family members who have been married at this point and may or may not have families, but let's say they're in a marriage. Everybody does it differently. Common practice might be get married, buy a house, have a family, get a secure job, and blah blah blah. But it's how those people choose to be with each other that I'm interested in. So, a means to an end implies that when someone is married, they don't really act fair. They don't really think about a situation from anybody else's perspective except their own. And they also tend to be focused on the benefits for themselves, sort of self-obsessed. We'll use that word. You can imagine someone who might be thinking about themselves to the extent that they are always asking what's in it for them. They're not really worried about other people, the consequences that their actions have on other people, or the good that they can do for other people. So that person sounds pretty sad to be around. That sounds pretty awful, pretty terrible, if you ask me. And while I feel fortunate that I don't have in my immediate circle and family models like this, I know that they are common out there, that people don't treat each other well just because we're people. Now, I want you to cut off the end, or excuse me, cut off the means part, and just focus on the end. Every choice is instantly what you have. Let me say that again. As soon as you make the choice, you are fully invested in what you have. The reason this is so important is you face this realization that all you have in life and all you are entitled to, all that you possibly can create, is right here, is this moment. It's your wife or your husband, it's your kids or your family, it's the environment around you, it's the choices you make. It is the end. And it's being happy with that end that creates in a person a sense of ownership for that end. The reason ownership is so important is that you will instantly take responsibility for where you are and what you're doing. If we go back to the means example, if you're focused on the means of getting somewhere and always tunnel vision focused on something that is unobtainable, or but just in the future and it's always better than what you are now, then you don't necessarily ever stop to slow down enough and just look at what you have already. You don't practice gratitude for what you have. And you sort of deny, this is probably the key, but you deny ownership for what you have in right now. So I hope that makes sense. By focusing on just the end, you take ownership for what you have now in a way that allows you to ask, how can I make the most of who I am right now and what I have right now? And in relation to your goals, you've now taken the lack of having the end out of the picture. Let me say that again. You've now taken the lack of not having the end out of the picture because you're in the end. That's all you have. You're taking 100% responsibility for who you are and what you have and where you are. And these are two very different things. They are how you live every moment of every day. Are you speeding through it to get somewhere else? Pushing everything and everyone aside for your own benefit? And this is not to say that you cannot take time for yourself. I am a strong supporter of protecting time. Protecting time. I believe that if you don't decide what you're going to do, that someone else will decide for you what you're going to do with your time and your life and your energy, your intelligence. So that's the thought I want to leave you with today. That's the concept that I hope you will think about enough that it at least sparks a little bit of space in your mind, in that place where you know that you are either too focused on getting somewhere and you're neglecting everything around you, or you are already present and you're already living in the end. You're already there. And now you need to work on optimizing that space and that time and who you are today, the best version of yourself. So, we'll leave it there for now. Don't want to overcomplicate things. I know that this discussion style learning and sharing can be kind of tiresome, but it is how I shape ideas, and it's how I form my thoughts, by speaking out loud, particularly to the camera. It's a challenge to form ideas in real time, but I am by nature a person who forms ideas by speaking them, and I often get into a situation where my idea might be wrong. After I say it, I realize it, and I have to course correct, which is just how it goes for me. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, share your thoughts. Shoot me an email. Check out the description box. The 15 in 50 handstand challenge is still online and running. You can learn a 15-second handstand. And last but not least, subscribe, hit the bell for future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.